Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of whatever this is. So, I'm going to be doing some reviews, and that's pretty much all I can do, unfortunately. I'm finding that I enjoy doing these, but mostly I do them because I can't do things myself right now. It's been on the down low, but I've not worked in months, and I probably won't work for another month or so, maybe two, because of health issues. But so this is how I take my days. I make videos about my favorite carvers. Maybe you've seen some of those. I write music and stuff like that. So this is another way for me to pass the time until I can have my surgery and get back to work. If you see your face or your name attached to any of these videos, there's no poo-pooing on anybody. It's all about just getting appreciation out there for the carvers, and and I love to see how they do things, and I will either comment on how I would have done it or how I've done it in the past or whatever. It's just kind of a new thing. It's like a discussion. It's like a cool topic to go over. And if people are out there, carvers are out there, and they want to kill a little time and watch a cool video, somebody else made the video. I'm just commenting on it. So there you go. So anyway, without further ado, let's get after it.
In today's video, we are going to be tackling my wildest and largest project to date, a 10.5-foot tall bull moose that I created for Attitash Mountain Village in Bartlett, New Hampshire. I cannot wait to share this project with you, so let's jump into it. This project started at the Somerset Log Yard in Skowhegan, Maine, where my new friend Jason hooked me up with some beautiful large growth eastern white pines. Once I got those logs home, the real chaos began, because now I had to figure out how to mill these giants in a way where they could be stood upright and laminated together, which was a lot easier said than done. I had never done any milling before, so this was a great opportunity to unlock a new skill.
Boy, it sure is a good thing, these things exist. I have one. I've never used it, but I've used one. I've used a friend with that person. That wasn't mine, but I was able to use it alongside of him, and that thing worked great. He had the cranker on it. It was from Sweden. It wasn't a It wasn't technically an Alaskan mill. It starts with an S, I think. Solon or something. I don't know. It was years ago. Okay. Wasting no time. The trick, I think, right off the bat is to just get through all the mass, just to try to block in, just to have some form of, some shape, and it takes a while, and I think big projects like this, only certain types of people can do it mentally. It's a lot. And if you want immediate gratification, this is probably not the kind of project you want. This is just a different kind of gratification where you really have to enjoy the process, and it's almost like a chess match. And Tay's playing chess and other people are playing checkers. There used to be a time when I played chess, but I mostly play checkers now. How cool is this? I wonder if her neighbors, I don't think she's at home for this carving. I think she's using someone else's property and machinery potentially to do this. I don't know if that's her bobcat. But There's a lot I don't know, and I'm not afraid to admit it. This is like, this would be a pretty epic thing to see. She's working in the back of the legs. So sketch marks are really important. I use them all the time. I'll just, I normally what I do is, like, if I'm going to do a big thing like this, I'll make a cardboard cutout silhouette, build the thing, and then put the silhouette onto the cardboard instead of eyeballing it. But when you do so, you need to take in consideration that you never want to just, if you have a silhouette, you never necessarily want to just kind of cut straight in. Once you get the silhouette on the side of the log, you don't want to just cut straight in. You want to be able to, okay, this is where my line is. So I can come down below that line, knock all that mid stuff out underneath the belly, and then start your taper before you just make a flat cut. That's my method. Keeps me out of trouble. I've done a lot of carvings in the past in practice or whatever where the bottom just is a flat cut, and you can't have that. It's better if it comes down. I don't know if it makes sense, but it makes sense to me. Now, I was watching Vlad carving, and he would just take an axe to that thing. He would just whack that thing with an axe. See, in this situation right here, I would have a gouge. I would be rolling a gouge across that whole thing, cupping it out. I mean, if you can easily get an angle with a saw, then for sure use the saw so you can cover some ground. But as you can see, Tay's belly has a nice roll to it coming downward. It's not just a flat cut. She's going to keep tapering that in. She's going to have to. She's doing that all by herself. Man, I'll tell you, if I'm in my skid loader and I lift something up and I have to get out, I can't get out. It's too high up. She's probably a lot more nimble than me, but I'm just saying, I'm stuck in there. So I always have to have somebody with me on something like this.
Oh, that's so nice. So nice. Snow tomorrow. It's 50 today, but snow tomorrow.
It's the snowed.
Yep. Guys, it's April. It's April. What is this stuff? Come on.
I remember when I could climb a scaffolding like that. Now other people do it. I don't get up on scaffolding much. But when I do, I stay there for a long time because I don't want to have to keep going up and down.
So I'm having a hard time carving out the neck. It's just weird angles. My bars are either like too short or too long, or the housing of the machine is like hitting the wood, so I just can't get the right angles. So I think what I'm gonna do is step away from the moose's head right now I'm actually gonna move over into this chest area, work on the chest a little bit and start defining some of those big muscle groups in the shoulder, move our way back towards the rump. So I think that's the plan. So let's go find some moose muscles.
Well, I was saying before, if the saw body keeps getting in the way, that's where a gouge comes in real handy. If you can't get if you're trying to get in there and do some work, and the saw body gets in the way because you're using a shorter bar, that's perfect time to grab the gouge and just go head first and get everywhere you want to go. Now, there's some carvers out there that don't use them, that say that they got no purpose for them or whatever, or they bought one that just sits there on a shelf. Well, I'm here to tell you, them things, once you learn how to apply them in your arsenal, it's outstanding. Oh, dang it. You know, I've set my freaking saw down on so many different types of, whether it's on the base of the carving or on a piece of scaffolding, and as long as it's running, I know for a fact it's got a much higher percentage of falling and destroying the tip of your bar than if you just put the dang thing on the ground. That little bit of a fall probably wouldn't hurt anything, but I believe she put a piece of plywood underneath everything before she stood all those logs up, which is smart, because not only does it help level things off a little bit, but when you go to carve the base, you don't have all of the problems touching dirt, getting past a certain point.
We are about to start our big moose's head. So I have it here on the lift table. As you can see, he's looking up. So hopefully we can remove enough material today where tomorrow I can tilt it forward and finish the carving. That way, I just think it'll be easier than having him looking straight up at my ceiling. But yeah, let's start whittling away and find ourselves a moose head.
It's always fun too to see how other carvers have themselves set up for, a finishing room, rough carve room, like this. This is clearly at her property. She must have taken the head back to her house. And you can see that's her finishing room. Looks like it has doors. Doesn't look like they're like heavy duty or anything. It's probably a space you can heat. Doesn't look like a very big space, but oh, there's your heater. It'll do. Yeah, we're talking about eyes too. Like, I was just having a conversation not long ago about eyeballs, and on a big animal like this, like cows as well, horses, they have this big old bulbous, and then they have the eye in the center. But I think the big mistake for most carvers when they carve them, they basically have they carve their eyes. They're so big they look surprised, and I think hopefully that's not the case. Might be the case here. Moose is a gigantic animal, though. They do have gigantic eyeballs. Yeah, Tay's a natural. Look at the way she's laying those those ears in there. Ears are confusing for me. I don't know why. All ears are. And I always end up adding them on afterwards. It just seems like it's... Because I never get them... It seems like I never get them right from the beginning. Get them correct. And then I'm trying to force the rest of the carving to fit the wrong ears. So I'll just cut the ears off and carve the bear head or whatever it is the best I can, and then attach ears later. It's easy. And I can pay attention to the ear instead of how bad I screwed up everything else because the ears were wrong. I could just pay attention to the little ears. Oh, finishing tools. Nope, she's taking down some of that mass in the back. Little taperage. But you can't, you got to be careful with these types of projects where you have this big massive animal and then you go, if you try to be too correct and too anatomical, then you'll make the legs the way they're supposed to be, which is on a living moose with bone structures and tendons and muscles. Instead, we have these big long legs that are made of wood, and if we taper them down too much, they'll be destroyed when you go to pick the thing up or whatever. So it's the thicker the better. I've seen carvings of bears that have like massive ankles, and it's just for support, really. That's not how they are. It's just how, just the styles have changed over the years to accommodate stability. This is an antler. So I do have a problem if this is a one piece, which it looks like potentially it is. I don't know if it is or not. Then usually the curled part, or wherever the part is that's going to attach to the skull, will normally have cross grain, which is not what you want. It's not a good scenario for strength or stability. Just gotta be careful about that, that's all. It's those little things, though. It's those little things. I use shims. And I put quite a bit more on there than you need. You need something to. I've had it where I put a little bit on there like that, just smeared it flat and put them together. And what happens is it absorbs into the wood and not necessarily bonds to the other piece. It's weird. Here comes the detail. Now this is either a one. This might be a 70C or something. With a little Samurai Legend bar. Oh my gosh, they're so good. You can do whatever you want with them. They're torquey actually, with that little bitty bar on there. I mean, they're a nothing saw, but they got tons of torque when you put a bar this long on there. So yeah, it's all relative. They're not very torquey with a stock 12-inch, that's for sure. She just did her doweling and she's doing a fantastic job. I mean, I don't know if she just picked this up, just from watching YouTube videos or what, but I'd like to know where the heck she learned how to do all this. Some people are just like that. They just are tenacious and will figure it out. But all of her methods are tried and true by other carvers. I know that, so it's just a matter of where she got them. I wonder. See, we didn't have this kind of so we did not have any of this kind of stuff when I was coming up. There was no YouTube. There was no cell phones, really. I mean, it was a long time ago. You know, it was. And we certainly didn't have a ton of events. And, I mean, there was stuff happening on the West Coast and the Pacific Northwest a little bit here and there, but not like it is today. There wasn't all this video access where you can just go on YouTube and learn how to laminate a bear or whatever. There was no, none of this kind of stuff. So, I think that's why we're seeing some of these carvers like Tate coming in and just killing it right off the bat. You got to have talent, but you also have to have a tenacious spirit.
Torch time on the big guy. We're gonna torch him up, then we'll sand him down and get some more color on.
Yeah, so I think it's important to understand that, because there's no way that somebody would come from nowhere and in 4 or 5 years be able to do something like this. This is unprecedented, and I've seen it a lot actually with young carvers. They have the access to so much more information and so much more fellowship. All the internet is closed the gap for all the up and comers and pros, and you get to see all the pictures from all these competitions, and there's video documentaries on this stuff. There's carving TV shows. We just never had that kind of stuff before. Reality shows with carvers. It's unheard of. To think that it got to that point, it's insane to me. Like we've taken the art form of chainsaw carving to a point where they're literally making TV shows around it and around the artists. It's pretty amazing. And by the way, the people that are in those shows, it's such a random selection. I think a lot of times, I know firsthand that it's just like a pretty random thing from a carver's perspective, but from a production standpoint, they pretty much know who they want through personality and whatever else. But if you're ever asked to be on a TV show, just give it a think. So here's where I was discussing the cross grain. See that right there where she's stroking that brush across the wood? It is all cross grain. It's crazy. You want to have the cross grain. You don't want to have cross grain on a part of the appendage like this. So this is why I rewinded it so I can show you. See right there, you can see the cross grain. And I've seen it break, especially with some weight on it, even if it's got a metal rod through it, because a lot of times that metal rod's not super snug in there, if there's any play at all. Here comes the big guns. Right on, man. Taylor lives in Maine, I believe. I think probably the best carver in Maine. No offense to any other carvers. Yeah, I think that she's probably one of the best, or if not the best in Maine. I don't know that there's a bunch of carvers in Maine. Taylor's just hard to beat like that, man. she's got it all, and she's only going to get better. She's still pretty green at this, and she's making things like this at this stage in her journey. Look out. I'm going to put the moose back in the cradle again and lift it up off the trailer. You got to be real careful with that and pray. I mean, that's why the ankles were left so thick and the hooves were so big, because you need to have that mass to hold the torque when they go to move it. There we go. Sliding those antlers on. It's pretty smart. She's put that 2x4 across the back, so that's exactly where they rest with no mistakes. That way you're not trying to fight it. You just put that board in there. Look at that thing. Musculature. The furring. Yeah, just, the only my critique, and it's not to beat up on her. The eyes and the legs. I don't know, maybe they just look short and stocky, but like we discussed, like I said earlier, you got to have some mass there. It's a beast, though. It's like 10 feet tall. It's a freaking beast. Well, that was super cool. Well, that's that for Tay Marie's moose. I just want to say thanks, everyone. Thank you for watching it, and check out her site if you haven't. It's amazing. And I hope, like I said, hope everyone enjoyed it. I enjoyed making this thing, and I'll see you on the next one.